welcome. Midweek Live, middle of the week, middle of the day, and we are sitting with some special people that, honestly, if you are a viewer and you are more from our Fresno campus, you might not remember these faces. I'll say it that way because you guys have been long. Actually, I was going to ask you, how long have you guys been coming to North Point? That's actually a really good question.
A little over 5 years?
Yeah, just about 5 years.
Just about 5 years.
We first visited North Point the first part of 2017 and
Okay.
then started attending regularly at the end of 2017.
Okay, so a good 2.5, 3 years or so, I guess, 2.5 before pandemic hits.
Yeah.
That changes things.
Mhm.
Yeah, then everybody becomes, I guess, ultimately like a home online. They become online.
Yeah.
And then things kind of change for you guys because how did you hear about the Kerman campus that was happening? By the way, Lance and Summer Goldsmith didn't say that, started getting into things. So Lance and Summer Goldsmith, if you didn't know, Lance was just put in as the pastor out at the Kerman campus. So congratulations to you both.
Yeah. Officially on August 1st, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's here. It's here. It's here.
happening.
It's here. You have an email, so it's official.
Yeah.
We
And
call
keys.
it official. So you're going to North Point for a while. Pandemic hits. You do that from home for a while. How did you hear about the Kerman campus?
So I think we kind of heard about it at church or, just heard it mentioned. But it wasn't on our radar to start attending in Kerman because we were pretty happy attending in Fresno, really. I mean, we were plugged in, had, lots of friends and connected in a small group and serving in different ministries. And, but it was really kind of like a part of the bigger story of I was just feeling like I was too comfortable, even though I was really happy, but like too comfortable. And I felt like God was really like, just more than just like maybe nudging me in the beginning, but then just like really like tugging at me. And so anyway, part of talking through that with Shane, he mentioned the Kerman campus, and then Summer and I were, okay, well, yeah, let's. We heard that there was going to be one Saturday. There was like we thought it was like an information meeting or something. So we go. It was actually like a recruitment meeting for volunteers. And while we're there, we're like, yeah, let's do this, And we had been part of a church plant like 20 years ago, and we're like, man, this is like.
Did it have the same feeling to it? Did it have that same feeling to it to some degree?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they started talking about loading things into a trailer and unloading them, we're like, okay, yeah, we've been there and
done that
yeah.
before.
So then we signed up to volunteer, and that was a few months ago, I guess.
Where did you sign up to volunteer at that time?
At that meeting.
But
in what area?
Oh, I'm the welcome table,
Okay,
the donuts
great.
and coffee.
Yeah.
And I was like unloading the trailer and setting up chairs and signs and, all of that stuff.
Yeah. And you guys have been doing that for a little while now out there in Kerman?
Yeah, actually, we went to the last meeting in the barn was our first Sunday.
Okay.
So then right the next Sunday, we started meeting in the high school and unloading and loading and all of that.
Now, a lot of people don't know, what kind of job did you do before? I think this kind of, it really lines up fairly well. What kind of job did you do before this kind of changed?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So I've been working in agriculture and specifically agricultural irrigation for the last 25 years. And
so farming?
Yeah,
lots of farms.
Lots of farming. And in fact, customers that were around and in Kerman. So I'm really familiar with the ag community and
Which is a pretty large part of the community there at Kerman, yeah? Yeah.
Very large, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody is at least aware of agriculture, and probably most people are their jobs are related to agriculture
in
of some
way.
sort.
Yeah. So it kind of felt like, did it feel pretty comfortable at first, those Sundays?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, just felt very comfortable, and the people are amazing. Just love them so much.
Yeah. What kind of, what kind of churches did you grow up in? Did you grow up in the small? I know I grew up going to like smaller churches for the most part. A lot of the early years. Is that the kind of churches that you guys grew up kind of going to?
Well, the church plant, actually, I didn't grow up going to
Okay.
church. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we first got married, one of our very first conversations, even though we really didn't know what it looked like, was that we wanted God to be at the center of our life. And then we immediately jumped into like this church plant that was starting. And so that was kind of
That's
our
a big
first,
cannonball.
yeah, that was like our experience. And so, you know, you're doing all kinds of
All
stuff in
kinds of
church
things.
plants. So it was an amazing experience. It was a lot of work, but just a time for a lot of growing and maturing, and it was great.
There's a commitment that happens too. I feel like, you know, in a church plant, there's everybody kind of committing a lot of their time and a lot of their effort, and you know, it feels a whole lot more like, you know, it requires everybody to be there, right? You got skin in the game. Everybody needs to be there to help out, and right. I think people, certainly when we're at the level that we are right now, right, as a church, people look and go, oh, like Big North Point, they probably don't need, you know, my help or whatever. And it's actually still very much needed on every level, right? And we're actually called to serve, right? We're actually called, like there should be a part of us that wants to, you know, give of our time in some way, give of our talent, whatever that may be. Many people don't always want to admit that they have a talent, you know. I don't have anything to offer. But if you've got a welcoming disposition, which Summer does, so that makes complete sense, right? To just welcome people in and help answer any questions they might have. Just, gosh, if they don't, you're just happy to say hi.
Yeah, there's all kinds of ways, you know, you can serve out in Kerman. I mean, even if it's once a month or something like that, you know, there's
we're recruiting, by the way.
We got setup, welcoming children's, you know. So.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, this summer there's been more activity with junior high and high school, some student ministry stuff going out there. In fact, your daughter is helping to lead that out with AJ Bowser, so that's kind of cool to see happening as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's been really exciting to see. Like Ashley was involved, has been involved here in Fresno, and to see her at the same time become excited about what's happening out there in Kerman and partner up with AJ. And so we've had 2 so far events, student events for the junior high and high school, and we're going to have 2 more here in July. And the idea is really, and it's a big part of just our vision out there overall, is really finding ways to connect with the community. And, you know, become part of the community out there, and we just think one of the ways really is connecting with the youth, providing a fun, exciting place. And that's what these events are, just really fun, crazy. Actually really modeled after the what we're doing here in Fresno, with a lot of support from Colin and Emma as well.
I'm sure, for sure, absolutely. How has this, you know, I think people, they might look at the 2 of you and go, oh, well, that seemed pretty easy. Like, that seemed easy, right? They went to the church and connected, and then, you know, he just kind of felt like he was going to be a pastor or whatever, right? They might look at it and think that. They truthfully might. But there's a lot of faith that goes in this leap, right? There's a lot of faith because there's a lot of, you've never done this before. You guys together have never done this before, right?
We definitely have served for a long time and lots of different ministries, and familiar with church plants. And
but I mean, in terms of, there's so many ways to answer the question. I mean, but what, you know, it's been a long journey, I guess I would say. You know, it's been, I look back and over the last, I don't know, 25 years of, so I mean, I had a career, and it was going really well, you know, and even I look at it in this last year was probably, you know, in a lot of measurements was the best year I ever had in that industry. But also at the same time, like just and also serving in the churches we were in at the same time, and just feeling like, man, like as much as I love this career and so many things about it, and it's been an incredible learning opportunity, that when I'm actually able to serve and in men's ministry or student ministry or in different ways, like, that's really exciting to me. Like, this is fun, and this is, I mean, again, like, my career was, I am very thankful for it, and, you know, it was really great, and so many great people, but, like, the more that I did on the ministry side, that was, like, felt like it was resonating with me, like, it was really, I just felt a lot of energy and excitement over it. So as time went on, that became it got to the point where I just couldn't ignore it and couldn't not do something. And so for me, I think because I'm experiencing all of that, and I'm experiencing the excitement of, man, like, this is just like, I have to do this kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And that whole process, and then coming to Summer and being like, hey, like, you know.
I was going to say that. What did this sound like? How did you kind of slip this conversation into a dinner time or whatever that looked like?
Well, he's been talking about going into ministry for many, many, many years.
Okay.
So it wasn't like it was a surprise, but, like, I kind of thought, like, well, yeah, you're going to be serving in ministry, not, like, career.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So, but there was no denying I could see God's fingerprints in it all. And even though it's scary because, you know, like, if you do my personality is like the protector. And in that is, like, security, you know, all of that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, he had a great career.
Yes.
You know, there's major changes happening.
Yeah.
So,
we're,
you know.
we're leaving something that is stable. You know what to expect. You've been doing it a while.
Yeah.
There's some comfort in that, right?
Yeah.
I hesitate to use the word control, but there is some control of the environment for yourselves. You know what to expect. You know what the day looks like. You know what the seasons look like. And you can kind of anticipate that because it's something you've been doing for so long. At this season of life goes, okay, everything we were really comfortable with is kind of being removed, right? And so what remains is faith.
Yeah.
Right?
And his personality and my personality are, you know, he's more like, yeah, let's go for it, you know? And I'm just like, wait, hold on.
Let's write some stuff out here. Let's do a little bit of planning.
Yeah,
and we can,
exactly.
let's pray about this for a little while.
So, but at that point, it was like I would have been saying no to God because I could see the writing on the wall. I knew that God was calling him into this. So,
how does
even though it's terrifying, you know, it's
what does the call look like for you? Because it doesn't, you know, God doesn't call one in a marriage without the other. Now it might look completely different.
Yeah, and I am just trusting that God is just going to open those doors and He's going to equip me for whatever that is. But just, I don't know. I mean, for me right now, what I know that I want to do, like in Kerman, is just to help people feel loved and welcomed and seen.
Yeah.
That's important to me.
Yeah.
So.
And I think for me too, it was what really led up to this, and really without any fear, I would say, is that, I mean, again, it's like over the course of many years of really just seeing the faithfulness of God, and even in little things, I would just say, like, anybody who is thinking of, like, starting a small group or leading a Bible study or volunteering for anything, and they're like, man, I don't know, like, I want to do it, but I just don't feel like I can, or I'm have what it takes. I mean, I would just say, like, go for it, because like, and that's what I've seen, like, over and over and over again, where you know, we felt like, okay, like, God wants us to do this, and then just stepping out and feeling, man, I don't know, I don't really know how I'm going to do it, and then seeing amazing things happen, like God, like, working through small groups and everything from finances to everything else, where we're each time, like, putting our faith in Him, even if it was really difficult. I mean, He's just faithful. And so that's where, like, over the course of time and just that growing and getting to this point where it's just like, I can't not do this. I mean, it's in God's hands, and whatever people are going to think, or that I'm crazy or whatever, you know.
Because I'm sure you have those thoughts. Yeah, I mean, I feel like anybody who's stepping into a leadership role like that probably has those, oh God, you know. I kind of feel like you are probably a pretty well-liked guy, yeah? Most of the time, I feel like that's right. So there might be a part of you that's like, oh man, what if people aren't crazy about me? You know, like that's not great.
And that, honestly, I think that's another way that the career that I had before is like kind of prepared me, because in sales, marketing, like sales management, and dealing with customers and employees and all of those things, and bosses and all of that, like, you know, people have high expectations, and so people were not always happy with me. I mean, or you know, like.
So you feel like you were kind of equipped, like. Yeah, you were made for that, to just be like, okay, that's all right. I
think so, like prepared for it, and I mean, it's like knowing that what we're doing, and of course, like we make mistakes, but like that ultimately that what we're bringing and our purpose and our mission is really important. That sometimes, you know, it's going to ruffle feathers or whatever. Right. I make a mistake and all of that, but ultimately, what we're doing is worth it.
Yeah,
I guess, and important enough to keep going.
To kind of put yourself in that.
Yeah.
Line of fire, whatever that might look like at any moment in time.
Yeah. And actually, what I've felt for the last year is that really, like, if I'm going to pour that kind of energy, I mean, emotional energy and effort and all of that into something, as much as I love, like, the team that I was working with and in the industry and all of that, which it's a great one, but I want to pour all of that into something that is of eternal value, really. And I know that it's not going to be easy. I know that it, you know, can have the same frustrations and challenges and disappointments and all of that, but it's just worth it. You know, for me, like pouring that same energy into something that really, really matters to me is what I want to do.
Yeah. You guys have 2 kids, by the way. They're amazing. We haven't even mentioned Ethan. Ethan's fantastic. Ethan helped out with our production team for many years, like just, you know, phenomenal. Do you feel like this is different, that both of them are kind of out of the home, kind of doing their own thing? Ethan's in school right now. Ashley has graduated, right? And she's onto her own business and career herself. Do you feel like part of this feels like it's a whole new season, a whole new chapter that you guys are kind of opening up?
For sure.
And does that kind of help, do you think, to some degree? You were a homeschooling mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, I mean, there's just a lot of changes about, you know, I mean, you went from, you know, both kids moving out, you had the pandemic, you had the career change. I mean, there's just been like one thing on top of the other, but definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely, it is like all in God's timing. It seems like it's exactly like He's kind of planned things out, and the way a lot of things are coordinating together. But like our kids, they're joking around about being a pastor's kid, and I'm like, okay, like that's no excuse. Like you guys, like, you're not gonna just go completely crazy now. But they've been teasing us about that, you know. But they've also been really excited and supportive of what's happening.
That's so cool. Yeah. What kind of plans, when you think about Kerman, when you think about the possibilities out there, what kind of things come to mind for the 2 of you? I would even say the 2 of you. What kind of things come to mind for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think first of all, the people out there are so amazing and so authentic, and they just love their community.
Yeah,
hardworking,
love the community, and so I mean, it's amazing to have that kind of support to start with. We have like this nucleus of people who are so full of energy and excitement and love for Jesus and also for their community. And so I mean, I think what we see is like I mentioned before, but just really reaching out to the community, understanding the needs of the community, integrating with the community, and loving on them, and becoming a source of answering their tough questions about life, and offering them hope in difficult circumstances and all of that. Really being outward focused, I guess. Outward focused, loving on the community, and
showing them Christ's love.
Yeah. I mean, helping the folks, because there's so many good people in Kerman. We just want to help them really get to know who God really is,
Right.
and not just a concept or an idea or a name, but we want to really help folks see who he really is, and get to know him. So all of that, that the way it actually, in a practical way, kind of unfolds itself is in different ministries, of course. And so we talked a little bit about the student ministry that we're already doing, and we that's really important. I mean, we have some ideas about how to engage with the schools there. We're meeting in the high school, and the high school's been extremely supportive. So engaging with students, and then really my thought is that through the students we engage their parents. I mean,
And that's pretty. I mean, honestly, that's just so true. I mean, any parent can probably relate with that, right? In that you look at your kids and just think, I want, I want good for them. I want, good people and influences around them. I want to put them in places where, I can trust that they're coming to know the Lord. And the truth of the matter is, like, your parents, I'm a parent. Our voices, they hear all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They hear us correct, and they hear us, when they're young, we're voices of correction. We're also, as they get older, we're more like doing life alongside them, right? It's less correction and more conversation, right? More almost mentorship as your kids get older and stuff. But no louder voices than the ones around them.
it's critical. I mean,
It's
the community,
so important.
building that community.
Yeah, the
and-
influence. It's strong. It's so strong. And when you know that you can trust those people are pouring into your kid in all of the positive ways, it's such a powerful thing. And what I really love too is, for anybody who doesn't have an idea of how this whole thing works out, but Fresno's pretty large, and Kerman's not far from here, but it is a smaller community, right? I think of my husband works in the Easton community. That kind of feels very similar. They're very small, and they've, a lot of people have grown up in that area.
Yeah.
They've grown up on same farms for many generations. You have an opportunity to do life on a very community level, meaning
Right.
the entire city.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Meaning the entire
exactly.
city, as opposed to like we can make a little bit of an impact in the northwest corner
Yeah.
of Fresno,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
But combined with other churches, there's a big impact that can be made. But when we talk about Kerman, we talk about like this plant, this opportunity to see grow involves an entire community of people, which means we sit with them in difficulty, right? That you're able to do life on a real level with people when it comes to a need or, prayer or any of the, right? Those very basic things, because again, it just reminds me of that small town, and it's a great thing. It's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
To get, the benefit of enjoying a small town and a small community, and the also bigger church, right? Love and influence and ability to just kind of, hey, we want to go and be with you in life. We want to do life together.
Yeah. And I think that's what's so awesome about what North Point is doing, is that it's not really a traditional church plant where it's like, hey, we're sending you out, good luck, and But I mean, there's so many resources and support from the Fresno campus, including preaching and everything else. One of the things that we noticed the very first day that we showed up to volunteer is the excellence with which the children's program is done
I mean, right?
in Kerman at the high school, I mean, it's first class. And that just shows the support and the commitment to excellence that North Point has to the campus.
I mean,
in
what
Kerman.
the groundwork, and I think what you're referring to is like we don't take anything lightly when it comes to our kids.
Yeah.
Number one is secure. We just want to make sure everybody's background checked and fingerprint. All that stuff is so important, even in
Exactly.
all campuses, all involved.
Yeah.
But then on top of it, really thinking through age-wise, what is the way we want to reach children of this age, of this grade, and at every level, there's thought being put into how we are reaching our kids for Jesus, and there's a bunch of people that want to do that, that are involved too, right?
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic thing. That's awesome.
It is.
I would love for you to finish this out with just the two of you guys inviting somebody to enjoy North Point Kerman campus. Like, what does that sound like?
Oh, you go for it, babe.
You're the welcome person.
I just say, hey, you want a donut?
Well, that's an easy yes.
Yeah, we have great donuts, and that actually is true. But, I just want to say that whoever you are, like, whatever you're going through, whatever questions you have, I mean, we would love to have you come join us. And it's we're doing life together. I guarantee you that, whatever challenges you have, whatever you've done in your life, whatever it is, I mean, and some folks, we hide better than others. I mean, a lot of us guys, like, we isolate, we're out trying to deal with everything on our own. And some folks, like, it's really obvious the challenges that they're facing, But what I'm saying is, all of you, everybody, please just come join us and check it out. I mean, we'd love to meet you and do life together and grow together and, really explore what it means to do life with God and who He really is, and just really understand what that means. So, yeah, come out and check it out. By the way, we have food trucks, every couple of weeks. You can come out, hang out with us, eat with us after church, and get to know us. So.
I love it. 11 a.m.?
11
Yes,
a.m.
11 a.m.
At the high school, there's only one. So
You can't miss it
you
then.
can't miss it, yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much for just coming, getting everybody an opportunity, a chance to get to know you, see you a little bit more. Congratulations. We're praying for you guys, right? We're praying for you as a staff. But anyone that's listening, just be praying for them. You're stepping out in faith. You're stepping out in faith, and we're just going to trust and believe God is going to do exactly what He has promised to do. And we're just going to see what's going to happen, right? Like, God's going to show up and show off, and that's a good thing. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, we're here for it.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Go make it a great Sunday. And gosh, join Kerman, 11 a.m.
Yeah.
on Sunday. Yeah. We'll see you later, guys. Have a good one.